Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I'm filming this video in my new beauty room. It is in a total state of chaos. It's not anywhere near organized yet, but once I get it kind of situated, I will definitely film. I definitely want to talk about our new house, maybe do a Q&A if you guys are interested. We've been here for less than a week and it's just unreal. Every day I'm like, I can't believe I live here. Oh my gosh. So really enjoying the new space, but this video is not about that. It is about the new collaboration between ODEN'S and 3 YouTubers. And if you guys are interested in seeing some eye looks, how I created all of them, hear my thoughts on the palettes, then just keep watching. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on my channel. I discovered ODEN'S about a year ago, maybe even longer than that, through my friend Angie, who is a Swedish makeup YouTuber, and ODEN'S is a Swedish brand in case you didn't know. And she was raving about them, and so I bought a few of their products. And very recently, they kindly added me to their PR list. So I have been playing with this makeup for about a week now, and I'm so excited. So brands like this is the reason I started my channel, because I wanted to be able to provide a brown girl's perspective on indie brands and things like that. So if you guys are new, please subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that post notification bell. I do upload quite often, so I would hate for you to miss anything. And without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, so there are 3 parts to this collection. Each collaborator got to do their own palette. So this might be a bit of a long video, and ODEN'S always does such a good job of really curating their collections. So with this collaboration collection, each influencer has their own palette, and they're also doing a matching scarf with each of the palettes. I know there's a lot of information with this collection, and I'm not even gonna try and attempt to give you all of it. I would say I will link all the collaborators' announcement videos in my description box, as well as the brand's Instagram page. I do know these products are going to be launching today, so I'm gonna try and post this video a little before the launch, just so you guys can check out the information. And I do have all the scarves. They did send them to me, and these are so beautiful, you guys. So that's Judy's collection scarf. Here's Tina's. Oh my gosh. If I was Tina, Judy, or Annette, I would like frame these and hang them all over my house. I think I actually said that to Tina. I was like, Tina, oh my goodness, this is so freaking cool. So I have never met Tina in person, but I've talked to her a few times, and Annette I have actually met when I was in Vegas like 2 years ago. She's such a sweetheart. And I know Judy had commented on my Instagram post when I posted the palettes, and I watched her announcement video and I already feel like I know her. So very excited for it's called the Diversa collection, I think. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so behind. Don't judge me. I'm just excited to play with these palettes, and I have been since they landed in my house. So yeah, I'm just so thrilled. The legendary Diversa collection, that's what it's called. I am wearing an eye look that I created with Annette's eyeshadow palette. So this is the last one I played with. So I have swatches filmed of each of the palettes plus close-ups so you guys can see them. And then I'll roll into the 5 looks I created with the palettes. And then I'll come back at the end and give you guys my thoughts on this collection. Okay, so we have the swatches of the ODEN'S palette. This is Judy's palette, so the first shade is Sunrise. Then we have Solar Flare, Claw, Overheat, Jade, Luna, Amber, Yin, Serene, Fire, Aurora, and Dragon. And the shimmer shades in this palette are absolutely stunning. So here are the swatches for the Fancy Face Hummingbird palette. The first green shade is Feathers, then we have Red Hills, Star Apple, Swallowtail, Tropics, Lagoon, Hibiscus, Beach Sands, Hummingbird, Fancy, Blue Fields, and Clear Blue. I will say Fancy is like the coolest, like unicorn, purpley blue, green, amazing shade that I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, I just want to like smear my face with that color because it's so unicorn-esque. But look at how pigmented these eyeshadows are. I'm so excited to play with this palette even more. Okay guys, so now that you've seen all the swatches and the close-ups of the palettes, let's go ahead and get into how I created these different eye looks. I will timestamp this video in case you want to skip around because I know sometimes you don't really want to see all the eye looks. So if you want to skip to the end, that's totally fine with me. And just check the description box for timestamps. Okay guys, so it seems like I had quite a few technical difficulties with this video. It looks like my mic wasn't on when I filmed this, so you're just seeing me apply some of the neutral shadows from the Judy palette, and I do apologize, but hopefully you guys can still see how pigmented and gorgeous these eyeshadows are with her palette. And these are not as neutral as they look. They definitely pack a punch, and I really like both the eye looks I created with this palette. If you guys have any further questions, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to use the green eyeliner from ColourPop in my lower lash line, and then I grab my favorite red from ColourPop, and I'm going to use that on this eye. And then I'm going to go back into this palette, grab my favorite pencil brush, and I'm going to start off with this green shade Jade. And we're just going to sweep that all over the lower lash line. And then I'm going to go into Aurora and just add a little bit of the brown. And then I'm going to go into Solar Flare and throw that on the inner corner. Pretty shimmer shade. Now I'm going to go in with this same brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Dragon. I'm going to go into Fire for the outer corner, and then I'm going to go into the shade Overheat and throw that in the inner corner. So yeah, that's kind of how I wanted to finish off the looks. I also grabbed my highlighter from the Norse collection, and I'm going to throw that on my face just so you guys can see what that looks like on my skin tone in case you're curious. This is from like 2 collections ago, so it was a collection before they did the Saga of Freya. And I bought it with my own money, and I, of course, didn't get around to using it, so I've been trying to use it. And so I figured I'd just throw in a little demo in case you guys were interested in seeing that. But it's such a pretty highlighter, like a golden shade, and they had 2 other highlighters that came out with that collection too. So I'm going to throw on one of my favorite lip formulas. This is from ODEN'S. This is the shade Dry Dates. I usually wear like the nude shade, but Okay, so these are so easy to apply, so comfortable. You guys know I love liquid lipsticks and I've been raving about these ones for a long time. So I just want to show you the shade Dry Dates. It's like a beautiful vampy fall burgundy brown shade, which I know I'll be wearing towards the fall season here. Okay guys, so here is the final looks with the ODEN'S X Judy palette. This is called the Red Dragon palette. And I wanted to start off with this one because it kind of looks like the most neutral palette of the three, but realistically, I mean, I don't think these are that neutral in my humble opinion. I love it's so pretty. I'm gonna stop blabbering because I keep saying the same thing, but hopefully you guys are getting a good look at these eye looks and this palette. These were so easy to do, so I'm very confident that if you like these looks, you can recreate them yourself, and if you do, definitely don't forget to tag me on social media. Okay, so it's time to film look number 1 with palette 2. We're filming with Tina's palette. So I started an eye look, I kind of ruined it, but I like the idea, so I'm going to try again. So I'm going into the shade Hibiscus. So in case you're wondering, Karen, why does your palette look messy? Well, it's because I already tried to do this once. I need to dust off this brush because this pink shade is very pigmented. So I kind of want to keep this in the very inner corner, and it's, oh, gotta remember to dust it off because yeah, otherwise you will get fallout. But the fallout's honestly worth it because this is a pretty color. Okay, so I love this pink shade. Just honestly, I could just stop here, but I really had fun throwing this green shade kind of all over the lid. So I'm gonna try again. I did try to bring it up into the crease and it kind of worked. I'm kind of doing a, actually, you know what? I should try one more trick. I'm gonna try using some glitter glue because I really kind of want to do like a cut crease type look, but you guys know the amount of cut creases I do. Pretty much none. So let me see. I keep trying. I'm like the engine that could, or whatever. Thomas the Tank Engine. So I'm grabbing some of this NYX glitter glue and I'm going to do Beauty Bean's little trick where she uses a glitter primer to create like a faux cut crease, as she calls it. So I'm putting that right up into my crease, hopefully give the green eyeshadow something to stick to. And then basically what I wanted to do was kind of like create a wing with the green. Okay, so Jesus take the wheel. And I'm going to use, I think, some of this to pack. But I think the key is to use a smaller brush. Okay, so I feel like I kind of managed to bring my vision to life. I had to stop talking and just focus on the makeup look. So basically I was gonna do like a pink look with like some blue in the outer corner, but then I was feeling very inspired to do this color combo. So I threw this shade in my inner corner and then feathers kind of like all the way out. And I put some in the crease shimmer. And then I used my other New York queen, Teresa's Dede's collaboration with Lethal Cosmetics. This is the shade Ectoplasm. So I tried to create a wing with that, and I think the glitter glue worked okay. I still feel like this isn't like my best look, but every once in a while I do try to get out of my comfort zone, and since Tina's the queen of color, I had to try and do something different. I was just feeling like doing something different, so that is that for this eye for now. I'm going to do the lower lash line, obviously, but now let's focus on this side, and I'm going to do something a little bit more simple because let me tell you, I don't get stressed about doing makeup looks, but that was a lot. I had to do it over, so I am going to keep it simple on this eye. So I'm going to go into this shade called Clear Blue, which is kind of a different shade. It's like a pastel blue, and there's a beautiful little hummingbird in there that I just ruined. But let's see how this pastel shade does. I'm going to use this as a perfect little crease color right here. It's like a gray blue shade. You guys know how much pastels get to me, so just kind of throwing that in there. And I'm very curious to see the pigmentation, and I can tell the pigmentation is very, very nice. Okay, so next I'm just going to go into this dark blue shade called Lagoon, and I'm going to put that in the outer corner. And the light blue and the dark blue are obviously making like the most beautiful sky blue shade. I'm going to grab this Kaleidos brush because it's like a fluffy blending brush that's a little bit more tapered. And I'm going to try and concentrate that dark blue a little better because that Glamlite brush was a little bit of a bigger, fluffier brush, and I feel like I didn't have proper control. These matte shadows are so pigmented. Are you kidding me? Like, what the heck? I don't even have to try. This is wild. I'm just adding a little more of that light blue into the inner corner because I really want it to pop. Holy smokes. What? I could just leave that like that. I could be done. I could be done. Okay, so for lid color, I have a few different options. I think I'm gonna be kind of basic and go into the shade Tropics, which is like this really pretty blue shade, and I think it'll pair so nicely with the two shades in my crease. Okay, so we're gonna dip this brush in here. The metallics have been so good in the palettes I've tried, so I'm not expecting anything less. Okay, I'm also gonna add a little bit of Blue Feels, which is the darker shade, on the outer portion, because why not? Okay, so it's time to finish up the lower lash line. I use more ColourPop eyeliner. So on this eye, I use the ColourPop liner in Loverboy and the other shade from the Lush Life collection called Aglow. So that's on this eye. And then Prance, which is like one of their most famous shades in the waterline of this eye. Hibiscus again. And I'm just going to throw on that shade in the lower lash line. Just drag it down. This is a very, I don't want to say different because it's not really, but it is for me. So I guess I could say it's kind of different for me. So I like that shade there. And then instead of putting a shimmer green in the inner corner, I'm going to take that green shade on the same brush and run it on the outer corner here. I don't know. I think this is just so different for me. And just kind of connect it to that little wing that I created with ectoplasm. And that's on that eye. And then I'm going to do on this eye the light blue on the inner corner. And then I'm going to take this dark blue. And so that's pretty much that on that. And then we need some sparkle in the inner corner. So I'm going to go into the shade Tropics. Anyway, I also grabbed the Solmon highlighter palette from ODEN'S, and I'm going to go into this white shade right here, which is like a pretty blue highlighter. And I'm just popping that on top of Tropics. So I do have some makeup left over from the eye look I did with Judy's palette, but I'm going to reapply my blush. So this is ODEN'S blush in the shade Water Lily. And I'm just taking it on this big Sigma brush. And I'm going to tap it on. Such a pretty, like they have such pretty kind of neutral colors. So it's going to work with a lot of different skin tones. And I'm just going to go a little extra ham because I love blush. And then I'm going to go back into this palette and do some highlighting. So I think I'll go into this shade up here and maybe a little bit of Soul. Just do a little mix. And this is a very blinding highlighter palette. So just be cautioned. High voltage right here. So just adding some highlighter, because why not? Oh my gosh, so glowy. And that's the highlighter and blush. And then for lips, I picked out this shade. This is called Perfect Plum. Again, they're matte liquid lipstick. And they do have bullet lipsticks and like a glossy vinyl-y lip that I also like, but I just love these matte lipsticks. So I just had to pair a different one with each of the eye looks I had created. Anyways, I'm going to spray my face, put some mascara on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did my mascara, and these are my looks with the Hummingbird palette. This is the Tina and ODEN'S collab palette. And yeah, this was so fabulous. I'm just in makeup heaven, you guys. At the end of the day, I'm a makeup lover just like everybody else, and I'm just so excited to play with these palettes. So yeah, this is look 3 and 4 with palette number 2 from these 3 collaboration palettes with ODEN'S, and I hope you like these looks. Definitely let me know which one's your favorite down in the comments. And now we can bounce into the third palette, which is the Annette palette. So I saved this one for the end, and I'm just gonna create one eye look on both my eyes because I want to include it in the intro and outro and stuff like that. So a little bit of a time crunch, but that's okay. And I'm in my new beauty room, and it's so exciting. I wanted to get this video filmed before we moved and like completed, but you know what? Sometimes the best laid plans don't always turn out the way we want. So I'm going into the shade Antipode. I'm sorry if I didn't say that correctly. And I'm just gonna throw that all over the crease. That shade did not disappoint. I love this one too because Annette included a lot of deepening up colorful mattes, so it's gonna be really nice to pair with the other 2 collaborators palettes as well. Very, very nice. And so many of you have been asking like, which one should I get? Like if I can only get one. And I'm like, listen, this is not the collection to be playing favorites. Just get them all. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, I don't think the price point is so bad. So maybe you can splurge. I think the quality is amazing. I'm gonna go into the shade Desolate, which is like a really pretty grungy green, like an even darker green than the Antipode shade. And of course, I'm gonna throw that on the outer corner. It feels so nice to be back putting makeup on. I haven't worn makeup in like a week. And every day I'm like in here organizing my makeup room, and I'm like, I'm gonna film. And then it's like the day is gone, or I get distracted, or we have a project that we need to do. So today's the first day that I'm actually filming. I haven't found my little remote yet that I use to take makeup photos, so that'll be interesting. I have no idea where that is. But for the most part, I found everything I use every time I film. So I'm a happy camper. I washed my hair last night. Hadn't washed it in about a week, so we're making progress here, people. One step at a time. Okay, so those 2 shades played so nicely together, and I'm gonna take the same brush and go into this shade Annihilation. It's like a dark, I think it's a black and gray. And I'm just gonna throw that also on the outer corner. Okay, I'm gonna grab a flat brush, and what shade? There is a really pretty grungy green shimmer in here. Should I just go with the greens? I know, I'm so basic. Actually, let's try and be different. I'm gonna try the shade Eternal, because that looks like it's the multi-chrome potentially in this palette. I'm gonna put that on the, oh yeah. Yep. Oh, that's freaking beautiful. Holy crap, it looks blue in the pan, but on my lids it's pulling green and pink. Oh, Annette, you sneaky girl, you got me. I saw Katie Murray posted her video, I haven't watched it yet, on this collection, and I think she titled it like Best Eyeshadows of 2021. And like, I don't blame her, because these palettes, oh my gosh, the metallics are stunning. There's a little bit for everyone. Like, this multi-chrome is, it's out of this world gorgeous. Like, holy smokes. Okay, I'm gonna go into Flare, which is this shade up here, the green. And I'm just gonna put it at the end, just to mesh it with the matte. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face off camera and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. Okay guys, so here is the final look with the Annette palette. Like I said, I really wanted to do 2 different eye looks, but for the sake of time, I decided to do one look with the Annette palette. All the shadows did swatch really beautifully though, so I have no doubt that whatever eye look you create with this palette, it's not going to disappoint you. As far as everything else on my face, I did use some ODEN'S eye products to finish up this look. So I'm wearing their Water Lily Gloss like lippy, which I know I talk about their matte liquid lipsticks, but this is actually a really pretty color. So if you want to add more products to your order, you know, might as well throw it in the basket. I'm also trying the shade Little Jasmine 1202 in their satin formula. This is the blush I have on today. So pretty, a nice nude kind of shade. And then in my waterline, I did use a ColourPop eyeliner. This is the shade, I don't know, it's gone off because I've used this one so much. And then for highlighter, I did pull out my Solmon highlighter palette and I just mixed these 2 shades to highlight my face today. So just wanted to mention that not only does ODEN'S Eye have great eyeshadow palettes, they also have quite the variety of other makeup products on their site. So make sure you're getting your basket ready and you're prepared to shop in a few hours because I think this launch is going to be so much fun. I honestly was so excited when I got the email about this collection. I just feel like this is going to be such a hit collection for ODEN'S Eye, and all of the collaborators really bought their personality into these and really created something that's very unique to them. Now, Judy's the one I'm least familiar with, but I think her palette is honestly stunning. Even if you don't like neutral palettes, I think this has enough variety where you could do some really fun things with this. I also love the size of these palettes and just how compact they are. They're the same size, I think, as the Freya palettes that they launched that are like the skinnier ones. I have them around here somewhere. I know I unpacked them. They're on my eyeshadow palette shelf, but I didn't grab them. So these are really nice size. On the back here, it does say that the net weight is 13 grams or 0.45 ounces, made in China and distributed from Stockholm, Sweden. These are cruelty-free and they have a, I think it says 36-month shelf life, and the eyeshadow palettes are made of recyclable material. So yeah, super stunning. And then as far as the Annette palette, I can totally see Annette in this palette. She loves those grungy jewel tones. I was trying to compare this in my head to her collaboration with Menagerie. If you haven't seen that one, she did collab earlier this year with Menagerie Cosmetics to create the Serenity palette. And I feel like this one is a even more like deep version of that palette. So I could totally see, if you're a huge Annette fan, you actually combining this palette with her Menagerie launch and or using it on its own. It definitely works really great. And I love that she did dark colorful mattes, because you guys know how much I love having colorful mattes to pair with my beautiful colorful shimmers in palettes. So of course, a wonderful palette. And they have all the same information as the Judy palette on the back of this one, and all the shade names are on the back as well. And then finally, Tina. I feel like I've been following Tina for the longest time, since I first started watching YouTube. Her hauls are so fun to watch because she loves makeup and has an epic makeup collection. So if you haven't checked her out, highly recommend. But her palette is definitely her as well. This shade Fancy is such a gorgeous multi-chrome shade. Oh my gosh, it's like crushed up unicorn in a palette. And the shade Hibiscus that I used was so pigmented. So for Tina being a person of color, I think she really nailed it for people of color, because I feel like my complaint always is pigmentation. And she definitely nailed it, and so did all these other creators, because I think no matter what your skin tone, these shades should show up on your skin tone. And yeah, I know they definitely work on mine, so I want to make that abundantly clear in case you're wondering, like, Karen, Are these gonna work for me? I think so. When I first discovered ODEN'S, they didn't have as many palettes as they do now, and I really see that they've made so much progress in their formulas, their color stories. I'm so excited to continue following this brand and what they come out with, because I just see them getting better and better over time, which is what we really want as makeup lovers, is to see brands making progress. So I'm so excited for this collection. Okay, so my conclusion is you probably want all three. If you're like me, there's no way to choose. Otherwise, just wait for a sale or something. I'm sure with Black Friday kind of around the corner, they'll probably have something. And I don't think the price point is that bad. I think these are retailing for under $30, which is awesome. ODEN'S did mention that discount codes will not apply to the collaboration collection, but I think you can still use somebody's code to save if you're buying any of their other products. Other than that, I think they're wonderful. If you can't afford all three, that's totally okay. Pick your favorite one, because maybe you don't love color as much as I do. I just think these palettes are so fabulous, and I'm so excited. So congratulations again, Judy, Annette, and Tina, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be in the comments. If you guys have any questions, let me know if I missed anything. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next video soon.